What is going on, people of YouTube? My name is Kurt. Welcome back to another transfer targets video. Now, at the end of my last one, which was Bayern Munich, if you haven't checked that out, then check it out on my channel. It's just a few videos away. I said I'd be doing Juventus and then Paris Saint-Germain, but I feel like Juventus definitely have been too active in the market for me to do anything and say like, well, there's only like a couple of things I can change, and PSG is a very difficult team to do at the moment. So I've decided to go back to the Premier League and maybe do a few Premier League teams that a few people suggest. Starting off with starting off with West Ham. I get the clarets mixed up. Call me David Cameron. But basically, I'm going to be doing West Ham because it's suggested by a friend who also does YouTube and started up his new series where he talks about transfers on his channel. Go and check him out. His name is GingyX. He's somewhere on the YouTube sphere. But I'm going to be doing West Ham United. Now, to make things easier, I put people in under 18s, and I've already taken out Jääskeläinen and Demel and Carlton as their contracts have not been renewed. They have run out and they have left the club as of this video. Now, most of these players are linked as of this video to join. I have added a few in to maybe sort of bolster them and to moves I think are realistic at the moment and definitely are viable for this team. So we're going to start off with getting rid of some players. So of course, Jääskeläinen, Demel and Kevin Nolan have all gone. Carlton, also Nene has gone. He was at the club for a bit, but because of this update on Foot Manager, he's not actually on the club, so that makes things much easier. However, spoiler alert, I believe Kevin Nolan should make a transfer away. I believe, looking at his wage, he's 50k a week, and he really isn't worth 50k a week. I know he hasn't got much on his contract, he's only got a year left, but I think if you can get a bit of money for him now, get him out of the club, you can allow a few other players to join in. So Kevin Nolan is going to be leaving the club. If I was manager, I'd hopefully get him out. And the next one is Diego Poyet. He hasn't really had much time to prove himself at West Ham, but I feel like a loan away would be the best move for him. So we're going to get rid of him to the under 18s as well. And that's pretty much everything from the transfer outside. Going in, there's a lot. Now, it does need a lot. Now, starting off in goal, this one's already been secured. If you just excuse my typing, Darren Randolph from Birmingham has joined West Ham. Obviously, not as the first team keeper, but as a backup to Adrian. And he's not a bad keeper. He will keep a good backup to Adrian. And also, he's not a bad one because if Adrian does fall out of form, it's not as if they're going back to, you know, a reserve goalkeeper. They've got a decent goalkeeper there in which he'll happily jump in, and he can easily be a Premier League goalkeeper. So moving on to the defence, another player that's been linked a lot, sort of dying down at the moment, but I think is still possible, is the man from Monaco, Aymen Abdennour. I think that's how you say his name. I believe he's a good centre back. He's very big, you know, good in the air. And, you know, if partner him with Winston Reid, you know, Tompkins and Collins to go to if need be, you've got decent back two there sitting in front of Adrian. Next up is the man who's already in the squad, Jenkinson. I believe they should go for him on a full-time basis, so I move him to the club and get rid of his loan. Basically because I don't think he's got much future at Arsenal, because Arsenal have Debussy, they have Callum Chambers, and they have Bellerin, as well as Jenkinson. I feel like Jenkinson could easily make a move away, and I think it would be a good move for him with West Ham because it gives me a chance to play first-team football for a club that's not half bad. Hopefully under Slavan Bilic, they will make sure they get up the table a bit and hunt for the top 10/Europa League places. On to midfield now. Sorry if I sound bunged up. I'm very ill at the moment, and I need sleep. I haven't slept. I've slept like 3 hours in the last 48 hours, so I'm very sleep deprived. I need to get this video out there. Alex Song. I believe he could easily come back into the club. Bit wishy-washy for me. I don't think he's as good as everyone praises him to be, but I think he can do a job, and he's definitely worth the signing indeed. Next one is already been confirmed, and that is I don't know, again my spelling is poor, but Pedro Obiang from Sampdoria. He's a good young player, and for fans of Football Manager, he's one of the former players that would have a huge potential of 5 stars. Now though, at West Ham, he's not doing half bad. 3-star at the moment, current ability with 4-star potential. Good young player to have at the squad. Thank you for the voice break. And last off in midfield is someone, this is the first player on here that hasn't been linked, but I think they could easily go for him and get him. Oh dear, giving it away. It's Tom Huddlestone. Now he's currently contracted at Hull. He's got 1 year left in his contract. Hull recently have gone down. I think he's easily a Premier League quality player, and so they could definitely go in for him, move him to our club, and he'll do a good job. He can play in the defensive midfield role, as you can see there. He's got a good feet on him. He can pass with his left, pass with his right. He's basically just your bog standard midfielder that everyone wants in front of their back four, almost like Michael Carrick does. And then if you want the other option to play more defensive, you've got Poyet, you've got Song, you've also got Noble could fit in there. Gives you a variety of options in the central midfield position. Now moving on to the attack, we're going to start off with another person who has already joined. I think I have spelt his first name right, but it's Dimitri Payet of Marseille, which is a fantastic signing. I would have said, you know, winger-wise, or possibly for the size of the club compared to Payet and how well he played at Marseille this season. It's a fantastic signing for West Ham. I'd say probably one, if not the best, considering the player and the club this season. However, Stoke are reportedly interested in Xherdan Shaqiri and have had a bid accepted. If they can pull that off, that beats Dimitri Payet by an absolute mile. And I mean that. I mean, Payet is a good player for West Ham, but Shaqiri at Stoke, that is an absolutely amazing signing if they manage to pull it off. Now, one thing I do want to move on to is attackers straight away, and also players in the under 21s. Now, you know, maybe you might be thinking James Collins can go out the squad. I'm thinking if he does go out the squad, then you've got options in the back, and you've got options like Reece Burke, like Daniel Henry if need be. I think Reece Burke will definitely come into the squad, play as a backup to him. The other options you've got is Andy Carroll, who's in here, and Mauro Zarate. We'll move both of them into the senior squad. All of a sudden now it's really bulked up. You've got good 3 strikers. Mauro Zarate can play just in behind them as a striker. Gives you a different option, being a lot smaller, a lot pacier. Can play out wide as well. You know, very multi-positioned utility player, if you must say. And a lot of interest in Stuart Downing recently. Leicester and Sunderland reportedly bidding for him. I think West Ham will miss him if he does leave. He's definitely been one of their players of the season this season, and you know, it's a quality you know, that you find, or hard to find in the Premier League. But if he does leave, and let's say he does leave and he goes, and we're going to get rid of Stuart Downing, then the player that could come in for me is either you could stay with this sort of squad, have 3 wingers with Zarate can play there, Valencia can play there, or I think there's one player that could fit in well with West Ham that I've picked out, is Junior Hoilett of QPR. Now his wage could be an issue, of course, playing for QPR and signing for the days when they made a lot of their transfer or wage budget, but I think he's a different player, because you look at the wingers they have minus them, you've got, you know, 3 different players. You haven't really got one that's really quick, you know, has got skills. Matt Jarvis maybe, but I feel like he's had a little bit of a decline, and Junior Hoilett can come in and give you that with your team. And lastly, I think, if anything, just to complete off the squad, if they can grab him in, I know there's lots of interest in him. I really have not planned this out well, but it could be Charlie Austin. I typed his name in wrong. He could easily move to the club. He could be a good signing, and with that team, that is a great team to have. Bearing in mind, you know, one left back, Abdennour can play there, and you've got Reece Burke to cover in for him. Also in the under 21s, I would like to say Danny Potts has left, but you do have Stephen Hendry returning from loan, and he's got quite a potential. I will move Danny Potts into the under 18s, but looking at under 18s, it's not a bad few players to get rid of. I mean, Downing could be the one you look at, maybe you're thinking, oh, you know, missed up, or maybe the worst one to get rid of. Also maybe Poyet could have given another chance. But, you know, the squad you have here is a fantastic looking squad, and I'm going to do what I usually do, ending off with how I think they could play. This is generally the West Ham formation they do. They could fit into here. Let's start picking the players. Adrian Easley in goal, right back of Carl Jenkinson, left back of Player of the Year Cresswell, and then you've got Aymen, Abdennour and Winston Reid in the back. That's a solid back four. You know, you've got a variety. You've got the pace and the crossing of Jenkinson. You've got the left foot, or the left foot wand of Cresswell. You've got two solid centre backs and a solid keeper. Then if you want to play the more defensive route, maybe if you're playing against the big teams, you've got a player in there. Maybe you can stick Song in there, Huddlestone in there, Cheku, Kouyaté in there. I'm going to put Kouyaté in there for now. Huddlestone, maybe you could play Huddlestone in there, maybe alongside Song to give you the you know, defensive sort of options, as you can see there. Maybe you can move out a bit. Maybe you can give Pedro Obiang a chance. Maybe you can go with the more of the tactical approach and put two playmakers in there with Huddlestone and Noble. Now, winger choices, Dimitri Payet is easily going to come in. Then you've got choice of Matt Jarvis, you've got Junior Hoilett to come in, maybe Nene Valencia, and of course, you know, personally, you have to stick Charlie Austin up front, but you've got a variety of options. You can stick Andy Carroll up front, you can stick Gaffer Saka up front, you can even stick Nene Valencia up front if need be, and then left winger you've got Matt Jarvis or Junior Hoilett. There's so many options, but the team I'd probably play would have to be Valencia down wide and Austin up front. If that's defensive, offensive, and getting players up there, I think Kouyaté may be in the centre for Noble, and then sticking maybe someone in there, maybe like Mauro Zarate. I know he's currently out on loan, but he would be in the squad there, and that would be quite a solid team. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. If you've liked this video, leave a like. Let me think in the comments down below, and subscribe if you feel like I'm worthy. I'll catch you all in the next episode. If you want to suggest any teams you want me to do, suggest them down in the comments down below, and I'll catch you all in the next episode. Peace.